Welcome, everybody, to Trade Deadline Eve. We do this every single year. We're going to be live all day tomorrow as well. Very excited to do this every single year. We've already been having a few moves here today. One move I wasn't really expecting, one move that kind of blew me away, one move that I was kind of hoping for that team, and they ended up pulling it off. We'll go through that. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of trade candidates here tonight. We're going to be doing just a big old preview. It's going to be a good old time. We do this every single year. It's one of my favorite nights of the year, and then tomorrow is one of my favorite days of the year. It's Christmas for me, basically, tomorrow. Let's dive into it, shall we? We already have a super chat to start things off. Holy cow. My goodness, you guys are amazing. Caleb, how you doing, my friend? He says, hey, Robbie, we have the reliever market cooking. Could you give me some potential proposals from other pen-needy teams like the Tigers, Yankees, and the Mariners? Well, I'm looking at, Emmanuel Clase was on the board at one point, but I don't know what's going on with the whole sports betting thing, so that's not going to happen. Well, David Bednar, looking out for him. There's a few, you got Dennis Santana on the Pirates as well. There's a few guys out there that I think could be very intriguing. Now, Griffin Jax, does he end up getting moved now that Duran has gone to the Phillies? Do the Twins hang on to Griffin Jax at this point? Not so sure. I would say the Tigers, that's a perfect fit for me, personally, when it comes to David Bednar. I feel like they need another swing and miss reliever back there. The Yankees, I'm wondering how far the Yankees would be willing to go in terms of adding a reliever at this point. They've already made the big splash today with Austin Slater, and then brought in Ryan McMahon not too long ago. I feel like they could make a small upgrade. The Mariners, I did think was a perfect fit for Griffin Jax. I feel like they could use a really good setup guy alongside Andres Munoz back there. We'll see what the Twins end up doing. They're interesting to keep an eye out for tomorrow. But Caleb, thank you so much for your super chat, my friend. I love you, my friend. And I love everyone for stopping on by here tonight. And we got one more. Caleb, you're amazing, my friend. Hold on. Here we go. Men proposals for Camille Duvall. Camille Duvall, he's been pretty solid this year. And now that the Giants have given up a guy, I wonder if they would move him. I'm thinking if they were to move him, I think that could be a pretty solid get. Like I mentioned, the Tigers a little earlier. We'll see if they end up moving him. So we will see. Caleb, thank you so much for that. Video Game Nation, one more here. I'll get to the super chats in a little bit. Hi, Robbie. I love the content. Thank you, my friend. I can't wait until tomorrow's stream. I'm excited for it. Again, it's one of my favorite times of the year. I love this time of the year. I love the trade deadline. Very excited for it. So let's move on here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on. We do have a sponsor for tonight. I will play that a little bit later, so please don't leave when we play the sponsor because they're doing a good thing for us here. And it's a sponsor that I very much like. So we'll get to that a little bit later. And before that, though, let's dive into it, shall we? Let's dive into it. Let's kind of recap some of the moves that we've already seen here. Now, taking a look, we've already had quite a few moves here today. We had one blockbuster. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to catch up here on the Mets. Acquiring Tyler Rogers here, this was, whoa, when I saw this one, I thought maybe there was a bit of a typo on it. Now, I understand the trade. I do understand how and why that came together. I'll give you my thoughts for both sides. Tyler Rogers has been very solid this year. 53 games overall, ERA at 1.80, FIP at 2.59. He's going to be a very nice addition over here. Now, taking a look at the Mets bullpen, and then they also got Ryan Helsley. I'm trying to go in order here. That's a big get, man. This Mets bullpen, all of a sudden, is looking like an absolute weapon, especially when they get to the postseason. And, I was wondering if the Mets were going to add something for the rotation. I was looking at Dylan Cease, looking at maybe a couple other, maybe like lower tier options out there. You could have put at the back end to give you some innings because Clay Holmes, he's already at a career high in innings. I wonder what they're going to do with those innings here down the stretch. I was thinking maybe they can go with a 6-man rotation. But then I thought to myself, it's David Stearns. David Stearns is always looking for value, and starting pitching gets expensive. And so I'm thinking, I could see him adding a reliever Well, he went out there and got a couple here today. Ryan Helsley, Tyler Rogers. I mean, what a really good looking bullpen at this point. Now, Tyler Rogers, very good. I mean, the numbers are looking great here. Take a look at the strikeouts. You know, you're not going to get a whole lot with him, but he's going to throw a ton of strikes. He's not really going to give up the long ball, especially at Citi Field. Well, he was at Oracle before, but very good addition here. Now, the trade itself kind of blew me away. I'm not going to lie. Now, again, when it comes to baseball trade values, you know, it's numbers at the end of the day. It's impossible to weigh the real life situations. It's impossible to weigh team philosophies, current team philosophies, right? They're dynamic as well. You know, those can change, right? Different needs at different times. You know, your farm system is constantly, you know, changing, growing, whatever it may be. Now, in this case, the Mets gave up an absolute haul here. A haul. The Giants, holy cow. They like robbed a bank here. Now, listen, I like Tyler Rogers, and this is a very nice addition for the Mets. But whoa, they gave up Budo, Gilbert, and Tidwell. That's insane. But I can justify it here a little bit. Now, when you're taking a look at the Mets' top prospects, and they also gave up Jesus Baez as well in the Ryan Helsley trade. That's a pretty nice get for the Cardinals as well. Man, the Mets, they are really unloading in this farm. But taking a look, you know, when you're looking at Drew Gilbert, this is Baseball America's rankings. Drew Gilbert was number 14. Gave up Blade Tidwell as well. Good velo, some pretty decent stuff for the most part. But I can understand giving up someone like Drew Gilbert because you already got a couple of pretty solid outfielders here, including Carson Bench, right? Carson Bench, they just drafted last year. He's playing very well. So that's someone where if you really wanted to land a guy, you know, this is where you can get aggressive. And yeah, sure, the numbers, I mean, even Drew Gilbert by himself would have looked like an overpay. But then you also threw in Tidwell. Then you threw in Budo as well, a guy that is major league ready, that has been pitching in the major leagues. So it's just, whoa, like absolute massive package. Again, it's baseball trade values. It's numbers based. It's impossible to weigh the real life scenario there, right? It's impossible to weigh that. So the Mets, they felt comfortable giving up this much. It is what it is. And I guarantee you David Stearns knows on paper this was absolutely crazy. I guarantee you that. But he probably feels like, you know, he is okay with moving on from these guys, and he wanted to go land the guy that he thinks can help contribute to a World Series championship. This Mets team is very good, all right? And then you go, what's also crazy to me is that you brought in Ryan Helsley at a cheaper cost. I mean, you're probably thinking, if you're the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals probably looked at that trade and they're like, what? You gave up that much for listen, Tyler Rogers, I mean, yeah, you could look at the ERA and whatever, but like Ryan Helsley, I mean, yes, the ERA is higher, but holy, this guy's pumping gas, good stuff. I mean, holy cow, like Ryan Helsley, I mean, man, oh man, that is a very good arm to get for the back end of the bullpen. And you're probably thinking the Cardinals here, like, man, how did we not get all that much? What they got Jesus Baez, that's a pretty solid get there. Definitely a good power upside bat. You get a decent pitching prospect in Nate Dome. I'd used him in other mock trades, so I'm not surprised to see him get moved. Yes, the Mets gave up a lot here. I mean, they emptied a good amount of the top of their farm. But they got a couple of relievers that really could help you win a World Series this year. And the Mets, they've slowly but surely gotten healthy here. They've gotten all their guys together. You know, could they add a starter? It's not out of the question. I don't think that's, even though they've added a couple of relievers, maybe they add someone tomorrow. Now, for the Mets, I am expecting Luis Robert to pop up for tomorrow. That's my guess. They've been connected with him. I think that would be a really good add, and I could see David Stearns doing something like that because it's, in a way, you're kind of buying low, right? Because Luis Robert, he's had a lot of struggles on the year. If you're the White Sox at this point, you're scared to death of any injuries that could come up with him. This could be a chance for the White Sox to just finally move on, right? They could just keep him. They could exercise the option for next year, move him in the offseason possibly. He has gotten hot. So I could see the White Sox thinking, you know what? He's gotten his act together. He's gotten the bat going. Let's continue this over the next couple of months, build that value back up, exercise the option, and then you do it in the offseason. I think that's possible. For the Mets, though, if you can get Robert, take advantage of that hot bat, and then McNeil, he can go back to the infield. All of a sudden, your lineup's looking pretty solid. I think the Mets could make more moves. I don't think they're done. I feel like one more move could happen with the Mets, maybe even a couple. So, we also had another trade. Let's stay in division here. Well, let's get to the biggest trade of the day here. The Phillies acquiring Duran. Love this for the Phillies. I think this is fantastic. This is exactly what they needed. I felt like even coming into the year, you had a lot of good arms at the back, right? You had Alvarado coming into the year, Kerkering, Strom, like good arms, right? All of them are going to do well. But I'm thinking, who's the guy? Who is the guy that you're going to give the ball to and just shut it down? Alvarado now is out, so that even made the situation worse a little bit. But now you get your guy in Duran. You're confident in the postseason now. You can give this guy the ball. I love this for the Phillies. I think it's a great move, and I think the return was appropriate. I think it was a pretty fair trade. Again, how the heck the Giants got that much in return for Rodgers? And, the Helsley trade, the Phillies, I mean, maybe even Dave Dombrowski's thinking, man, how the heck did they pull that off, right? But I love this for the Twins. I just did a mock trade today. I just posted a video within the last couple hours here, trades that I want to see. And the last trade that I had on that video was Duran going to the Phillies. And one of the guys I had going back to the Twins was Mick Abel. We had reports today that Andrew Painter was the ask, of course. I mean, why would you not ask for him? He's one of the top pitching prospects in the game. I didn't see that happening, though. Mick Abel felt perfect to me because you still have Painter. You got Jesus Luzardo for another year. Obviously, Nola's under contract. You got Wheeler again. So Phillies for next year, they're going to be okay without Abel, who did figure it out this year. Could you have hung on to him and you could have had Painter and Abel moving forward? Yeah, sure. But I think in this case, it makes sense, especially to get Duran, who's under a couple more years of control. I really like this for the Twins. And I actually wonder, could this make the Twins be more okay with moving Joe Ryan? I wonder that. They could really get a haul for him. And I'm not saying Mick Abel is Joe Ryan, but the fact that they got a young pitcher, maybe you can get another young pitcher in return for Joe Ryan. And then, you're really, building that depth. I wonder if that could come into play. We'll see. But I also love that the Twins got Eduardo Tate. I'm actually surprised the Phillies, in a way, moved on from him. In the mock trade that I did earlier for Duran and the Phillies, I did not do Eduardo Tate because I'm thinking the Phillies, they probably want to hang on to their top prospects. Painter, Aiden Miller, Eduardo Tate, Justin Crawford. I did mention Justin Crawford in the video because I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe if you were to, maybe you can give up one, maybe Crawford possibly. I felt like the Phillies, maybe that could be someone they'd be willing to part with. But then again, he could be your next center fielder. But Tate, I'm thinking, man, they probably don't give up Tate because Real Muto, he's getting older. He's getting closer to free agency. So I'm thinking with Tate, that could be a guy that could be your next catcher. So I wonder what the Phillies are going to do moving forward at catcher here. So that's going to be interesting. But overall, I think it's a really nice trade for both sides. I like Abel going back to Minnesota, and Tate could be their future guy. The Twins were lacking catching depth. That's why I thought like Tate would be a good ad when I was coming up with my mock trades. I just didn't think the Phillies would give him up. So there it is. I like this trade overall. I think it's very solid. Now, we also got this here today. I do know there's a couple of super chats in here. I'll get to that in just a second. Ke'Bryan Hayes going to the Reds. This one was a surprise. I was very interested in this when I saw it. At first, I thought, what? Because I'm thinking, like, I swear the Reds, is it me or do the Reds just find a way to add a third baseman in so many different ways? Remember, they brought in Jamer Candelario, and that ended up being a bust. And they already had just so many guys in the infield. And, you got Noel V. Marte, obviously. And I'm thinking, they brought in Ke'Bryan Hayes. The more I thought about it, though, I like it. I like it for the Reds. Now, here's the breakdown. The Reds, I don't think there was any cash in this deal. I didn't see that anywhere. But I really like the Pirates. They got a young shortstop prospect here in Sammy Stafura. Could have a pretty decent high upside bat. He's athletic. I think it's a nice get for the Pirates. He's not major league ready anytime soon. And then they're getting Taylor Rogers for the rest of the year. Whatever. But the Reds, Ke'Bryan Hayes, I actually like this for them. Now, when you look at the numbers, you're probably thinking, huh? Well, why? Hitting 236, OPS, under a 600. I mean, why? Like, why would you want Ke'Bryan Hayes? And a 57 on the WRC plus, and it's awful. However, you're putting him at Citizens Bank Park, and it's a bit of a hitter-friendly park. Wonder if that could end up maybe helping him out a little bit. He's been at the pitcher-friendly park at PNC. So I think Ke'Bryan Hayes, maybe you see a little bit of a boost in the numbers there. And you're going to get great defense. We'll see. Terry Francona, he appreciates good defensive third baseman, had Mike Lowell for a little while there. So I think he's going to like Ke'Bryan Hayes. I think it's a nice get overall. It was a little confusing at first when I first saw it. But overall, I think it's decent, right? And let's see if they can really get that bat on track. I mean, hey, they've developed some good offensive players here. Let's see if they can figure something out. Now, we actually just got this recently on The Athletic from Jen McCaffrey. San Diego is still after Jarren Duran. No, Garrett Crochet is not getting traded. Okay. AJ Preller, man. Every single year. AJ freaking Preller, man. One National League evaluator noted the Padres' extreme interest in Duran and cited San Diego general manager AJ Preller's aggressiveness as a reason he felt a deal could get done. Here's the thing. I do see the fit with Jarren Duran in San Diego. I definitely see it. But man, like, how far are you willing to go here for a guy that, yeah, he could totally do a lot for you? I mean, he's been very hot as of late. The Red Sox put him in the 3 spot. He is thriving in that spot in the lineup right now. He's had back-to-back days with a home run. Dude's going off as of late. He might have over a 700 slugging in the last 15 days. I'm guessing on that. Dude's been red hot. So I could see with Preller, yeah, of course, Duran, they needed a left fielder. He would cover a lot of space out in Petco. I've been thinking to myself, though, the Padres feel like they really could use a power bat. They really could use some more thump in the lineup. Now, with Duran, I mean, the way he's hitting as of late, I mean, maybe he could give you that, right? But with Duran, you're more thinking speed. Just the upside with the bat, it's a dynamic bat where you can do a lot of different things, right? When you think of Duran, I'm not thinking of a 30, 35, 40 home run kind of a guy, right? Either way, though, he is going to help your lineup. I just wonder could you go after if Taylor Ward was available? He would really give you some thump out there. Duran, though, totally see it. Totally see it. Preller has loved Duran for a long time. Absolutely loved him. He's a California native as well. I see the fit, right? And he's got a lot of control. So Preller, he would, he's obviously in love with the guy. He would have him for the next few years. He would love that. Now, getting more into this, now there was another part here that the Padres believe they might be one of the only teams that can still get Duran at the deadline. The Red Sox know that and have stood pat, with one NL evaluator noting the game of chicken played by teams at this time of the year, Meanwhile, the Dodgers could put themselves in the Duran equation, if only to drive up the asking price. Everyone, that sweet smell of leverage is in the air. We all love the smell of leverage. So it's a nice smell. We always get it every single year. Now, but as of Wednesday afternoon, Los Angeles was not in the mix for Duran. Now, it says here, Boston wouldn't trade Duran just for Cease. Actually, hold on, I missed this one sentence. With the market at a standstill for controllable starters, the Red Sox might shift their interest to rental starters, and San Diego's Dylan Cease is available. The Red Sox like swing and miss. That's something they've been trying to improve. I see the fit with Dylan Cease. They have been connected with Cease in the past. Boston wouldn't trade Duran just for Cease, who has a 4.79 ERA and 22 starts. Yes, high ERA, but he leads the major leagues in strikeouts per nine. If San Diego included top prospect Leo DeVries, the Red Sox would consider it. Would AJ Preller actually do that? Man. Would the Red Sox? I think the Red Sox would demand more. Now, I'm not saying this is a fair trade. I'm just getting into the brains of the negotiators that are on the telephone. If you're the Red Sox and the Padres are the only team out there that are trying to land this guy, if you're the Red Sox, why would you stop at Leo DeVries? Value-wise, sure, that's going to line up. That's going to be very close. But again, this is where baseball trade values is going to be limited, because you have to put the real-world situations in play, and that's impossible for BTV to do. So if you're the Red Sox, why would you stop at Leo DeVries? All right, you got to give us Leo DeVries. We want Dylan Cease. Hey, give us Cash Mayfield as well. Well, no, Boston, we don't want to do that, AJ Preller says. Well, okay. Well, all right, I guess we're going to keep him. I mean, you're the team that really wants him here. The Dodgers, they've made a couple of phone calls. I mean, if you want him that badly, you're going to have to give us Leo DeVries, Cease, Cash Mayfield, maybe even a Boston Bateman. Perfect fit, Boston Bateman in Boston. Gotta love that. I'm just saying, I think this, my guess is the Padres are not going to do it, because they're in a horrible situation negotiation-wise. However, if Preller feels like it's going to make his team better, maybe he does it. Remember last year, we're all sitting here, you're all sitting here with my doofus self here at the desk, and Tanner Scott gets moved for, I can't even remember who went back, but it was a ton. You had the Jason Adam as well. I mean, holy cow. I mean, you had an absolute haul of prospects going back to the Rays and the Marlins. I remember Robbie Snelling was involved. Dylan Lesko. Who else was in there? I remember those were the top two names. But I remember at the time I'm thinking, holy cow, AJ Preller, like, you just gave up a boatload. Would he give up one of the top prospects in all of baseball? I don't know. I mean, Robbie Snelling, he was struggling at the time. He's now gotten himself back on track with the Marlins. Dylan Lesko, he was also struggling. I haven't checked on him in a little while. So those guys were a bit different because they were struggling, so you could justify it at the time, right? But still, like, you were getting Tanner, you still have Jason Adams, so at least you still had him under control. But if you were looking here at Leo DeVries, well, top 100 here on Pipeline, DeVries is number 3. Baseball America, he's in the top 10. But Leo, I mean, he's had, 245 average, nothing amazing at high A, but he's got it on base at 356, 408 slugging, 8 homers, 8 stolen bases. He's a guy he has a very high upside, has a really good hit tool. He's advanced for his age, right? He's got a 55 power as well. He does everything well. He's just a very balanced player, but a lot of plus. So there's a lot to like with him. Now, I don't know if the Red Sox would. Again, I go back to that article and I think to myself, the Red Sox, they said in the article, the Red Sox would consider it. Well, of course you would consider it, right? If it were me, if I'm the Red Sox and I somehow got this done, I'm using Leo DeVries as a major trade piece to try and land someone else out there. And then there's going to be the argument too, and I totally understand this argument. I really do. Jarren Duran, he's the heart and soul of the Red Sox. He's also, again, red hot as of late. If you trade Duran, yes, you have an outfield surplus, but Marcelo Meyer, he just got injured recently. So now, Cedar Rafaela, he can play second base, right? You want him out in center field, but if you really wanted to put Cedar Rafaela back out into center field, which obviously is his best position, of course, this could be the way to do it. But again, when you're looking at a team chemistry point of view, Duran, he is the straw that stirs the drink, man. They love him in that clubhouse, right? Boston, we've grown to love Jarren Duran over the years. That would be tough, but do you turn it down if you're getting Leo DeVries, an arm for the rotation in Dylan Cease, maybe even another pitching prospect or two? Do you turn that down if you're the Red Sox? If I'm Craig Breslow, I would not like to be the one to make that decision. But I think from a value point of view, I don't see how you could turn that down. We'll see what ends up happening. AJ Preller, that guy's a madman. He's an absolute psycho. Maybe he does it. We will see. We will see. We also got this here. Eugenio Suarez. Here's the latest update. 4 teams in on Suarez. We're looking at the Mariners, the Cubs, the Tigers, and the Phillies for Mr. Suarez. Thank goodness that man's hand is okay, or the wrist, or whatever it was. When that happened the other night, when he got hit, I'm thinking, no way, like one of the top guys on the market is done. No way. I couldn't believe it. Luckily, he's okay. The x-ray came back negative. King, what are you saying here about Ken Rosenthal? Again, I don't want to stray too far away from the show. The Padres and AJ Preller are still pursuing Jarren Duran and Stephen Kwan. They're also pushing for A's closer Mason Miller. That's an interesting one. Oh, thank you for that. We can really dive into that. Let me finish up here. Eugenio Suarez. I think the Mariners could definitely make another play. They added Josh Naylor. Solid bat. The Mariners have a really good farm system. If I'm the Mariners, go bring back Eugenio Suarez. Go beef up your lineup. You got good pitching there. You're doing well this year. Go beef up your lineup. Go send back, I don't know. Go send him Harry Ford or whatever. I don't know. That might not be the best, but you know what I mean. The Cubs, well, Matt Shaw has been hitting a bit better as of late, so I wonder if the Cubs still make a play there. The Phillies, they just landed Yohan Duran, so are they going to have the pieces to land Suarez here? I think Mick Abel could have been a guy that you could have sent back in a Suarez deal, right? That could have been a nice piece for the Diamondbacks to get back, looking for young pitching. That would have been very nice. So I'm looking at the Tigers here for Suarez. I'm absolutely looking at them. To me, the Tigers are the perfect fit. Or the Brewers. I'm looking at the Tigers and the Brewers as both the teams that I think would really benefit. The Brewers could use more power. I know you got Caleb Durbin, but maybe you could move him to second. And then Bryce Terang, he can move to short. Joey Ortiz, he comes off the bench. The bat hasn't been amazing this year, but the defense is good. I would love for the Brewers to get him, but will they get him? It's not like things could always change. We could always look at the history of how teams like to operate. So maybe the Brewers do something different. I mean, honestly, maybe you can make the argument that the Brewers could change it up a little bit, get a bit more aggressive than they have done in the past, where you're thinking to yourself, all right, listen, we're really good. We got a good team this year, but are we once again going to be that team that is really good but falls short in the postseason? Should they go make a big move right now? I think there's an argument to do it. I think there is. But will they do it? I don't know. They tend not to get away from their philosophy very much. I would love for them to do it. So that's where I'm looking at the Tigers, man. Their offense has been struggling this month. They've taken a step back here. I still think it's a really good team, but you could put Suarez at third base, give you a bit of a boost in the lineup. And there you go, right? Javier Baez, Zach McKinstry. They can, whatever, shortstop, center field, figure that out, whoever plays where. I think Suarez makes perfect sense for the Tigers. Out of these 4 teams that were listed, I think the Tigers make sense. I think the Mariners make a lot of sense. Out of these 4, I would say it's down to the Tigers and the Mariners. I would love for the Brewers to make a play. If not, I could see the Brewers maybe sidestepping to go get Ryan O'Hearn. You can pair perfectly with Andrew Vaughn, who's been amazing for the Brewers. And you could have a nice little pairing there. Vaughn's so hot, though. Do the Brewers view him as an everyday guy there? Vaughn has hit lefties very well in the past, so do you do a platoon? I don't know. But with O'Hearn, he has versatility, so he can play some outfield, DH, obviously. So I could see O'Hearn being a guy the Brewers turn to. We'll see with Suarez. We will see. Let's get to this article here. Let's get to the article. You all just told me about Ken Rosenthal. Let's go take a look-see at that one. How about Mason Miller popping up all of a sudden? Gotta love that. Here we go. Let's take a look-see. Everyone, if you can, hit the like button for me. Oh, we got 1,000 people in the chat. You guys are amazing. What is Gordo saying? Gordo. What is Gordo? Mr. David Young. What is Gordo? If you're a Red Sox fan, you got to follow Boston Sports Gordo. Was this from the same article that we're about to pull up? Yep, this is from the same article that we're about to pull up. Here we go. Thank you for that, David. So here we go. As usual, Padres president of baseball operations, AJ Preller, is active on most of the big names available at the trade deadline. In addition to his continued pursuits of Jarren Duran and Stephen Kwan, that what we listed, Leo DeVries, is he going to get moved? Leo DeVries, man, he lines up perfectly for Duran or Stephen Kwan. I wonder if Kwan could be a Padre. I think he'd be great for the Dodgers as well. They got Michael Conforto. I don't know. But he is also pushing for closer Mason Miller. Would the A's want Ethan Salas? I think DeVries would be too much to give up for Mason Miller, personally. That's not me trying to be a prospect hugger, but, I mean, when you look at the value of a future star shortstop, for Mason Miller, I mean, maybe you convert him into a starter. I don't know. Hold on. I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry. Taking a look here. Considering the top-heavy state of the Padres farm system, Preller might need to part with elite shortstop Leo DeVries or the well-regarded Ethan Salas to acquire any of the above players. I think Ethan Salas could make sense here. I do, right? You got Shea Langlers, right? But Salas, he could be the next guy up. I don't know. The A's, to me, they're about to be getting into a competitive window here. I mean, they just need more pitching. So is this the situation where you move Mason Miller? I think if you move Mason Miller, you should be getting back some pitching. Ethan Salas, I mean, that'd be nice. But are you going to get any close to Major League ready pitching back in return? I don't know. Could maybe AJ Preller be trying to up the price for the Dodgers? That could be possible. I could see that. Yeah, Noah Carl, I see you in the chat. Salas's value dropping a lot. Yes, absolutely is. The bat has completely tanked. I mean, he's very good defensively. I think could be a star catcher if he gets the bat going. I don't know. But I wonder if this is actually pushing up the price for the Dodgers. I wonder. Would they send Dalton Rushing? Would they send him to Oakland? I don't know. I wonder, could you do a swap? Mason Miller for Dalton Rushing? That could be interesting. Moving on here. Indications are the executive is willing to at least discuss them. Leo DeVries, Ethan Salas. Man, AJ Preller, this guy, every single year, he's gonna do something tomorrow, isn't he? And Padres fans, I wonder how Padres fans, how would you feel if they ended up moving Leo DeVries for a dude? Let me know. I'm very curious because obviously I know the Padres and Padres fans out there, you want to make the team better, but are you willing to give up DeVries? Let me know in the chat. I'm very curious about that. He goes on to say here, Miller, like Duran or Kwan, would come at a heavy cost. The 26-year-old right-hander is leading the majors in average velo, making $760K. But they are considering potential trades of one of those pitchers. Closer Robert Suarez, who's making $10 million. He can opt out after the World Series. It's interesting. The Padres, working with limited financial flexibility, are also discussing the possibility of moving Dylan Cease. Let's move down a little further. The Padres' ability to land Duran, Kwan, or Miller could hinge on their willingness to surrender DeVries, while Salas has not played since April because of a stress reaction in his lower back. Again, I don't know if teams would want Salas. I think you would have to probably give up DeVries in this situation. That's just me. I mean, if a team is willing to take on Salas, I mean, that could really change the game. We also got this from, let's go back here. We got this from Alex Spear. He's got some Red Sox news over here. What do we got over here? Let's share the screen. All right, so Alex Spear on the Red Sox approach when it comes to rental relievers. The Red Sox are reluctant to give up top prospects, particularly upper-level pitchers, for 2 months of a reliever, given that the pitching prospect might have a comparable chance of delivering a bullpen impact. That's what I wonder. I wonder if the Red Sox, if they do add a reliever, they're going to go after a guy that you're not fully expecting, not one of the bigger arms, but a guy that could really help you out, but he's not a superstar kind of a name. And one guy I had my eye on was Brock Stewart for the Red Sox. He's having a good year. He's not a free agent until after 2027, so you'd have him for a couple more years. Like, this is the kind of guy I could see the Red Sox going after here. Right here. We'll see. We'll see, but we got that. So, everybody, before I get to the rest here, we do have our sponsor for tonight's show, for our annual trade deadline eve stream. I'm going to play that for you. I'll be right back. Everybody, it's trade deadline week, which means we're probably not going to be sleeping all that much. Well, at least me, but I know I'm going to be needing a nap or 2 or 12, which is why I'm very happy that Manta is partnering up with us for this video. Guys like Jeff Passett and Kem Rosenthal are going to be keeping us up at night with breaking news tweets. So during the day, when the sun is bright, this Manta sleep mask is going to be rather clutch to help me get a good nap in throughout the day. This mask is so comfortable right around my big potato head. It shields out all the bright light so I can get an uninterrupted rest. And I'm also a side sleeper, and this does not give me any problems at all. Now, I also got to mention this white noise machine from Manta. It's an absolute game changer for me. It plays all these relaxing sounds like rain, and I can control it with this really convenient remote control, and it helps block out the noise as well. So that way it helps me get even a better nights of rest. So I've been using the mask and the white noise machine, and I've been getting some of the best sleep of my life. So if you're looking to up your sleep game, head down to the description below, click on the link, and use the code HIDE to get 10% off. Alrighty, let's get to it here again. The link is down below. I'm telling you, Manta, they got really good stuff. I'm actually excited to promote something for next month. Very excited for it. Manta, go check them out. My sleep has been better than ever. So, let's take a look-see. All right, well, we got CBS Sports here, and they got a nice little tracker for us. We're going to kind of work through this a little bit. And if anyone does see anything, if anything pops up, please let me know in the chat. I will try to get to that. You know what? Actually, before I get to kind of what's going on here, because we did just touch on some of the recent things that they've posted, we did have a few super chats. So let me get caught up on that. And oh look, Jim Bowden, he's talking. Jim Bowden's talking behind me. Jim Bowden, my goodness, Jim, how you doing? What do we got here? Let's get back here. We had a few from Big Business, $5. Need something? Do the Rangers get involved for Bednar? I feel like the Rangers are probably set with their bullpen. I'd be surprised. They've had a good bullpen this year. I would love for them to add a bat. I think O'Hearn could make a lot of sense, right? I think he would be a great fit there. They need someone there, right? Josh Smith, he has that versatility, so he can play some other positions. They need a bat, in my opinion. Jock Peterson, he just came back recently. I know Rangers fans have been frustrated with him all year. We'll see. I do think they need a bat. So, Big Business, thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. We got Mets fan. What do we got? Mets fan. What else do the Mets do? Again, we talked about this at the beginning, in case you missed it. I think they could add another arm. I think that's possible. You know, David Stearns, he's always looking for value. So, does he go out there and get Dylan Cease? Does he go for a rental? I don't know. He just cleared off a whole bunch of prospects. So, I don't know. I was thinking to myself, maybe they could send back, I don't know. Could you do, again, I don't see Stearns doing this, where he would send like Vientos for Dylan Cease. It fits a need for both teams, where Cease gives the Mets another arm for the next couple of months in the postseason, and Vientos gives the Padres another bat, but I don't think Stearns would do that. I don't know. And Preller, he seems to have his eyes focused on Duran or Kwan. So I don't know. I do think the Mets, I said this earlier, I think they could be a strong candidate for Luis Robert. I think that makes sense. We'll see what they end up doing. I think the Mets, I think they're going to make one more move. One more. I think pitching-wise, they might be good. Maybe one more relief. I don't know. We'll see. I think a bat, though, would make a lot of sense for them. I think they need a little extra there. CJ, $4.99. Love the content. Thank you, my friend. Lou Bob's late success, do you think the Sox start the bidding war and the Mets give Vientos and Clifford? Also, check John Frisella. What is John Frisella? Who the heck is John Frisella? I'm going blank on the name. I'll answer that first question. John. Okay. Oh, I follow John Frisella. What did he say? Padres officially not giving up on Mason Miller either. The Yankees, Phillies, and the Dodgers are the front runners to trade for Mason Miller. Interesting. The Phillies? What, are they going to get Mason Miller and Duran? Oh, could you imagine? Goodness gracious. I wonder if the Dodgers get Miller. I wonder if that happens. They also know the Mets got Helsley, Rogers, Soto. This is going to get wild. I really think, man, I wonder, let's put a little trade here together, right? Thank you for pointing that out to me. Let's do a little trade see, shall we? So, hold on, let me move you just a little bit out of the way. Let me put you down there. So I'll get back to just the question here in a second. I gotta keep my mind on this. Again, I think Preller. I don't think unless they take Salas, I don't see that happening. But again, is he just trying to drive up the price for the Dodgers? I think the Dodgers could really make something happen here. It makes a lot of sense. And they have like a young arm, even a couple that they could send back. The A's need pitching. They need more pitching. So like a Justin Robleski, that could be a pretty decent arm to send back. And then, you got someone like, Zaire Hope, maybe even send back like Emmett Sheehan. That could be a guy that goes into the A's rotation right now. I mean, you could do that. There's a whole bunch of different ways the Dodgers could do this. If you send back Jackson Ferris, you could do that. I mean, you could do you could do either one of these guys in some kind of a package. I'm not saying all of them, but, do one of them and work the package around that. You got, they have a lot of, I don't know, Dustin May? Do you send back Dustin May? That's a guy, I don't know. But I have my eyes on rushing too. Could you just do a 1-for-1 swap where the A's, they get themselves a dude, right? You got Langleyers there, so I don't know. I don't know if that works. So he wouldn't be the everyday catcher. He couldn't play first base. He couldn't DH either. So actually, no, I think I take that back. I don't think rushing would be a fit. But you could still put together a package. Like if you did Jackson Ferris, that would be a really nice prospect for the A's to get back. I don't know. Do you send back, could you do something with Zaire Hope? I don't know. Sirota. There's a lot of different ways the Dodgers could go here. I think I read somewhere that the Dodgers do not want to give up Alex Freeland. Could you do that? Maybe Mike Sirota, send him back. I look at Emmett Sheehan, and maybe you could build something around him because he has a major league ready arm. I don't know, like Sheehan, Robleski. I don't know. Could you do that? Let me put that together here. Robleski. Dodger fans, I'm sorry if I'm making you grumpy with this trade. I don't know. I don't know how much you like Sheehan. I'm not sure. But that could be a nice guy to put back into the A's rotation right now. And then Mason Miller. I could totally see the Dodgers trying to convert him into a starter. That sounds like a Dodger kind of a thing if they wanted to go that route. And then right there, you're already there if those are the two guys that you could do. So I wonder about that. Keep your eyes on this. Very interesting. Very interesting. But let me get back here to the super chat from CJ. Yeah, totally. I think the White Sox, they're going to put Lou Bobs out there, and I think they're going to see if they can get anything. I think the Mets just make the most sense. You brought up Vientos or Clifford. I think that could make a lot of sense. Now, let's put that together here. Let's see. If we were to go White Sox and the Mets, I love the fit of this. I think it just makes a lot of sense. Robert has built up his value a little bit. This is where I also wonder if maybe the White Sox can, I don't know, they pay the rest of his contract for this year just so they can squeeze out a little bit more. Well, the Mets definitely seem willing to be giving up some prospects. So, I don't know, Vientos. I don't know. Would the White Sox want Vientos? Maybe. I think I read a report not too long ago that Vientos was on the table. Or would you rather just go with a prospect whose clock hasn't started yet, with Ryan Clifford? Again, there would be some cash here, so let me just put, I don't know, $5 million. That's my thinking. I'm not saying I've heard anything or whatever. I don't know. Do you do Clifford or I don't know. I think you could see something here. I do. Thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate that. What do we got here? Sound FX, how you doing, my friend? Welcome. Only thing the Braves have at this point is a paper bag on their heads. This season has been an embarrassment after embarrassment. Changes need to be made or Atlanta will be hosting a riot in the offseason. I wonder with the Braves, I'm looking at the expiring contracts. I'm looking at Marcell Ozuna, Raisel Iglesias, maybe Rafael Montero, and then maybe Sean Murphy. I could see Sean Murphy maybe going somewhere. And, if the Padres, if they wanted to make an upgrade at catcher, could Sean Murphy maybe be a guy they go after? Could they make a play for Adley Rutschman? Possibly. I wonder if maybe Preller kind of looks at some catchers out there. I think Murphy could make sense there if the Braves want to give him up, of course. But that's what I'm looking at. They got some guys here. Anthopoulos, he's not going to blow anything up by any means, but he'll get what value he can. So thank you, SoundFX. Really appreciate that, my friend. James Hirota, how you doing, my friend? Welcome back, James. Real winner of this deadline will be John Fisher when Artie Moreno overtakes him as the worst owner in baseball. Fisher is awful, but at least he lets his front office field a solid roster occasionally. How hilarious is it that the Angels added bullpen guys? Unbelievable. Like I was doing my trade deadline predictions video the other day. All of them are probably going to be wrong, but I felt really good about the Angels prediction because I'm like, you know what? The Angels are not going to sell. They're just not. They should. But I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I got to use my brain over my heart here. There's not really too much of that to use. But I just thought, I'm like, the Angels, they're just going to add bullpen guys, aren't they? They're just going to add a reliever or two, aren't they? And that's exactly what they did. Exactly what they did. So, the Angels are crazy. James, I can't even imagine, like, if you're Mike Trout, your knee's bugging you, right? You're just trying to stay healthy. And you're thinking, like, Mike Trout has to be the one woman that was at Popeyes when she's sitting on the bench and she's leaned over. Remember that? When the chicken sandwich thing was going crazy? And you just see this wonderful woman. She's tired. She's on a bench. And she's just done. Tired. That's what Mike Trout is right now. It's like, how do you just keep doing this? Like, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, okay, these guys will come in and help out, but it's not going to do anything. I don't know, man. I'm sorry for Angels fans. Listen, maybe they can go on a run. Maybe one day. We will see. Thank you for the super chats, everybody. Do appreciate that. Let's get on to the tracker here. Let's see if anything's popped up. Let's do a refresh. Appreciate all of you. 1,000 people here in the chat. Again, we're going to be live here tomorrow. Make sure you got the notifications turned on. I'm going to be here. Also, everyone, hit the like button for me. We got 1,000 people and only 400 likes. Can we get to 500 likes? I think we can. The Angels have gone into ad mode. The Angels have changed course. They were all set to be sellers, and then, of course, Artie Moreno stepped in. They got Chafin and Luis Garcia. They have decided to become buyers. The possibility remains that the Angels change course again or still sell off a veteran closer like Kenley. I don't see him going anywhere. But the overall goal here is to stick around at 53 and 55. 4 back in the wild card. We got the Phillies plan after Duran. Do not expect more bullpen additions. Well, that's funny because they're getting in these rumors for Mason Miller. So the Phillies are, however, still looking for a bat. They've been linked to several outfielders, including Luis Robert. We've been linking Luis Robert to the Phillies for how long now? I mean, that would make, I still think, a lot of sense. They need a right-handed bat. I think they're going to do that. What is going on here in this chat? What is happening? I feel like people are arguing about something. What is happening in this chat? What's going on in this chat? Quit being grumpy. Here we go. Yeah, Robert for the Phillies. I think that make a lot of sense. Suarez market includes at least 3 teams. We already talked about this. Cubs, Mariners, and the Tigers. That makes sense. Newcomb, speaking of the A's, he has gained traction. Red Sox legend, Sean Newcomb. ERA at 2.4. I mean, goodness gracious. I could see him getting moved. Why not? Veteran guy. Mets not done yet. David Stearns has revamped the bullpen in the last few days. Doesn't sound like he's taking Thursday off. The Mets are looking for a bat. They've been largely connected to center fielders. Again, Robert. I mean, if we're looking through, I think other than, we had this today. Let me touch on this. Correa dismisses the trade rumors. Now, earlier today, we had something that maybe the Astros and the Twins were looking to make some kind of a move for Mr. Correa. Just like they did with Verlander right? They brought him back, right? The Astros were looking to be eyeing a reunion. Correa himself pushed back against the idea. Here's what he told the reporters. That's not something I think is serious right now. We'll see where everything goes, but my goal has always been to be here and win here. I've talked to Derek Falvey, Rocco Baldelli, and I'll be ready for the next series. Correa leaves the door cracked a bit, yes, but that mostly sounds like a player who doesn't expect to be asked to approve a trade back to Houston. The problem is they would have to eat a lot of the money. Unless Houston just takes back the rest of the deal, right? They wouldn't have to really give up anything at that point. He's an underwater contract right now. The Mariners, they added Caleb Ferguson. The Giants, willing to trade Justin Verlander. That's interesting. I mean, is anyone going to want Verlander at this point? At a picture-friendly park in San Fran, and he's still really not able to get too much done? I don't know, man. I don't know. Unless maybe a team sees something, maybe they could figure something out. Cedric Mullins is a hot trade candidate. He's hitting .306 over his last 15 games. I think the Astros could make a lot of sense there. I think they need a left-handed bat. We'll see, and I think he fits into what they can afford, right? The Astros, they have one of the lowest ranked farm systems in the game. I think they could send something back to Baltimore to get a deal done. We will see. Mackenzie Gore. Let's talk about Mackenzie Gore. That's an interesting one, man. I did a mock trade today of Mackenzie Gore going to the Cubs. He had a tough outing here against the Astros. 6 runs, 8 hits, whatever. I'm not really too worried about that. Whatever. Guy has a bad start. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. I wonder if he ends up getting moved. I think there's only really a few teams that could make a play. I think the Cubs are one of them. I think the Tigers could maybe do something. I mean, could you imagine Skubal and Gore in the same rotation? That'd be insane. The Dodgers could make something happen if they wanted to. The Red Sox could, but I don't think they're going to. Gore is interesting. We haven't really gotten a whole lot as of late. I feel like, if anything, I've seen the Cubs connection popping up all over the place. I think I read in the last couple of days the Cubs are very interested in Gore. But again, are they gonna do it? We had this today with the Red Sox. We had this from Rob Bradford. The Red Sox have shown some interest in both Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks. Rob Bradford reported that today. Merrill Kelly makes a lot of sense to the Red Sox, in my opinion, if they wanted to go the rental route. James Hirota, check X. The Angels are definitely in the outfield. What is... Oh, man. Bunch of Angels fans are dressed up as angels in the white robes. That's a sight to see. They're just praying that their team can finally get something done. Man, look at all that. Man, oh man. Gotta love that. But yeah, Merrill Kelly, I think, would make a lot of sense for the Red Sox. I think they prefer to go after a cost control guy. I think that's probably the route the Red Sox end up going, or at least what they would like to go. You never know what this market is going to do. You never know. This was interesting. The White Sox, they scratched Hauser today. I could see him getting moved. I don't see why the White Sox would keep him. We'll see. There was also this. Excuse Giraffe Nick Robbie here. But we do have a little more something on the Red Sox here when it comes to Sandy Alcantara. Now, Sandy, funny enough, Pedro Martinez putting this here today. I thought this was interesting. Sandy Alcantara needs a fresh start, somewhere where he can win and feel that fire again. I think he's going to be traded. Well, it's funny because the Red Sox, they've been keeping tabs on Sandy for a little while now. Let me actually pull up what we had here today. And we had a report. Let me go find that. Taking a look-see. According to Francis Romero, the Red Sox have been closely monitoring Sandy Alcantara over the past few months as they search for a strong number 2 starter. That's interesting. And there was also a report from Sean McAdam saying that basically the Red Sox told the Marlins, hey, if you move him, if you do anything with him, please give us a call. That makes me wonder, because I think Craig Breslow is very similar to David Stearns. Analytical, but looking for value. I think they're a little different. I think with Craig, Stearns is just like pure looking trades, like looking just for pure value. Craig, on the other hand, I think he also sees like, you know what? He's a good player. You know, let's go get this guy. Where Stearns, I could think like, nah, I'm not sure if that's exactly, yes, good, but not sure. I don't know. Stearns is a little different, I think, but they're both analytical in that sense. I could see Craig being like, man, Sandy, good arm. A couple more years of control, too. He's got that good value. You know, I think he sees the upside there, and I really do think they could make a play for him. I really do. We'll see what ends up happening. He looked good in his last start. He's been pitching better lately. Edward Cabrera, I feel like Edward Cabrera is not going to go anywhere. I think because of the track record with the injuries, he's having really his best season. I wonder if teams are willing to take a chance on him. You would have to give up a lot for Cabrera, a decent amount. I think you would actually have to give up more for Cabrera at this point over Sandy, because Sandy has the contract, hasn't been pitching all that great all year. So, you know, but with Cabrera, he has a lot more control. He's cheaper in his arbitration years. I feel like you would have to give up quite a bit to get Cabrera, and I actually think it would cost more than Sandy at this point. And I don't know if teams would be willing to go there. Sandy, though, I don't know. You know, and you take a look at Craig as well. Garrett Crochet, he got Tommy John. He brought in Walker Buehler, who had 2 Tommy Johns. Shane Bieber, they were interested in him last offseason. I wouldn't write him off as well as a possible trade candidate. I could see him getting moved tomorrow. That's where I think he looks at Sandy and he's like, all right, elbow's looking good. All right, cool. We can figure this out. So again, the Red Sox, I think, could be a candidate. We haven't really heard him, I don't know, any other reports. We've been hearing really just the Red Sox for him over the last day. And Pedro loves him. Pedro really likes Sandy Alcantara. So let's take a look-see here. And, you know, I feel like for the most part, we are pretty much caught up. Stephen Kwan, again, you know, I think Kwan is interesting. I feel like there's more, I don't know, you know, Jeff Passan, let's go back to this. Jeff Passan gave Stephen Kwan a 70% chance of getting moved. He lists the Phillies as the top team. I don't know, man. That just feels a little weird. I think they need a right-handed bat. That's just me. Maybe the Mets. It's funny because he put the Padres and the Dodgers last. I wonder if Kwan ends up being like a backup plan to Duran. I could totally see the Guardians being like, all right, can you give us Leo DeVries? And if Preller's willing to do it, I could see the Guardians doing that. The Dodgers, the only problem with the Dodgers is they have Michael Conforto. What happens there? Like, I know obviously Kwan would be an upgrade over Conforto, and he would really help out the Dodgers in a couple of areas. Contact percentage, he would help their whiff percentage. I don't know, like, does Friedman make a blockbuster move like that when you have Conforto there? I mean, do you just ship off Conforto somewhere else? What do you do there? I don't know. It sounds easy to do, but is it one of those situations where it's like easier said than done? You know what I mean? I think a rushing trade, rushing going back to Cleveland could make a lot of sense. That could be a guy that plays every day at catcher, and he would be a much better bat than Naylor. I could see the Dodgers maybe making a play. The Padres, again, if Leo DeVries is not going to be enough for Duran, then maybe you can go to Cleveland there. I wouldn't write that off at all. What do we got here? Maury's Life. What do we got here? Maury's Life with the super chat. I don't like the Giants. Go Rockies. Oh man. Poor Giants. Poor Giants. Maury's Life. I'm sorry. You every year you're just going through pain. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I hope it gets better for you, my friend. I really do. Kind of going through this, just Duran obviously. Well, funny enough, they gave a 30% chance of Yohan Duran getting moved, and well, he ended up getting moved. So at this point, if you're seeing, I don't know, Jaron Duran at 25%, is he going to get moved? I mean, Stephen Kwan at 70%. I mean, does that mean he is definitely getting moved at this point? Cease at, I mean, you know what I mean? Like 30% chance he ended up getting moved. I'll go back to Griffin Jacks. I wonder if they end up keeping him. If they just want to blow it up, then do it. You get back even more value there. I feel like Merrill Kelly's going to get moved. Why not? I mean, why would you not? I mean, a team, why would a team? I actually wonder with the Tigers, could you do a package deal of Merrill Kelly and Eugenio Suarez? That'd be really nice for the Tigers if they can get that done. Mitch Keller, we've been kind of hearing sort of some iffiness there. I mean, the Pirates, they're unsure if they even want to move him. Why? Why would you not move him? You have pitching. Trade him. You need bats. Go get all the bats. Please. Trade Mitch Keller. Edward Cabrera, I feel like he's going to end up staying. Sandy, I think there is a chance he could get moved. And, it's not even just the Red Sox here. I'm mentioning them here. But again, like, I wonder, the Cubs, they were like the hot team for Sandy Alcantara for a while. Do they maybe step up there and get something done? Zach Gallen, I say there's more of I don't know. I could be wrong, obviously. I am a lot. I feel like there's more of a chance he ends up staying. He hasn't had a good year. I don't know if teams would want to take a chance. Do teams feel like they could get him right in the next couple of months? In the next month? I don't know. I feel like Zach Gallen is a prime candidate to get the qualifying offer and stay in Arizona for one more year and then go back out to free agency. That sounds right to me. O'Hearn, I think, is definitely getting moved. I'd be shocked if he didn't get moved. Bednar, I think, is kind of one of these forgotten names that I just feel like no one's mentioning Bednar, and he's having a really good year. Suarez, I wonder if Preller gets creative there. Does he include Suarez in some kind of a deal, possibly? Helsley, they gave him an 88% chance. He got moved. Pete Fairbanks, hey, the Rays, right? You had Yandy. I talked about this earlier on Monster Territory. Pete Fairbanks, do they move him? Why not? I mean, if you're the Rays, you just saw what Taylor Rogers got. Taylor Rogers. I forget which it was Tyler Rogers. Sorry. If you're the Rays and you're looking at that, you're thinking, oh, okay, let's try and get a nice return like that. They gave Bieber an 85% chance. I think Bieber's interesting. Well, I don't think the Angels are going to move Taylor Ward now. Now they're adding bullpen guys. I don't think Ward's going anywhere. Robert. I think, yeah, for sure. Laureano. Do the Phillies go get Ramon Laureano? Could the Dodgers also get Ramon Laureano? They can put him out there with Michael Conforto. Maybe. I feel like everyone's forgotten about Nolan Arenado. Remember how much we talked about him in the offseason? Does he get moved? I don't know. Marcell Ozuna. He's been a little cold as of late. He was dealing with an injury. What was he dealing with again? Was it an oblique? I can't remember. But he got a little cold there. Adolis Garcia, I don't know, the Rangers, I think they move him if they could do like something creative. Like, I wonder if you're the Braves, do you do some kind of a swap with Marcell Ozuna, Adolis Garcia? That sounds like like an Alex Anthopoulos kind of a move, where you bring a guy back that has another year of control. Sounds like an AA move. Detmers isn't going anywhere. Oh, Charlie Morton. I forgot about Charlie Morton. That guy's getting moved. He's been really good over the last couple of months now. The numbers overall look terrible. I think people, for the most part, they're going to scoff at this if they land Charlie Morton. They're going to be like, what? 41-year-old Charlie Morton? Come on. I wonder if he's a guy that, like, David Stearns goes after. A guy that has David Stearns written all over it. He actually put the Mets as the best fit. He sounds like a Met. Like a guy you're not going to have to give up a whole lot for, but could really give you a lot of results. That sounds like David Stearns. We'll see. I think Morton's going somewhere. Cubs? Yankees? I don't know. Hauser, I think, will get moved. I can see Hauser. I don't know. I see. He mentions Toronto there. I would love for Toronto to get a high-end guy. Like, I would love if they took on the contract of Severino. I would love if they pull off a deal for Mackenzie Gore or Joe Ryan. It would blow up the top of their farm. I don't know if the Blue Jays want to do that, but I would love to see, as a Red Sox fan, this is me as a Red Sox fan saying it. As a baseball fan, I would love for the Blue Jays to go make a move like that. I know you'd be giving up Arjun Nimala and Trey Savage, but I would love for the Blue Jays are looking good. If you can go get yourself one more arm for that rotation. I mean, with Nimala, you just drafted a shortstop first round. Re-sign Bo Bichette. Nimala all of a sudden is expendable. Trey Savage, hey man, love you. But we're getting Mackenzie Gore or Joe Ryan for the next couple of years. So Trey Savage, see you later. So I wonder if the Blue Jays could make some kind of a move for a high-end starter. Cedric Mullins, I think Houston would work. We'll see what ends up happening here. There's a lot that can happen. A lot that can happen here. Is there anything going on Twitter land? Anything going on Twitter land? Let's see. Has Passan said anything? Let me know in the chat if anyone, let me know if a reporter out there has said anything. Dante Morosi just said the Tigers may be out on Suarez. Stop it. Stop. No, they're not. Okay, he says here, the Tigers are said to be reluctant to part with top prospects to acquire Suarez. And Detroit, I agree. I think Detroit, they need a bullpen guy. I think Bednar makes a ton of sense for the Tigers. Ton of sense. Oh, we got a move. Oh, we got something. Michael Soroka. Michael Soroka going to the Cubbies. Well, the Cubs just got their arm. The Cubs are not going to get Joe Ryan, I think, ladies and gentlemen. There goes that mock trade. There goes that mock trade. Here we go. Michael Soroka going to the Cubs. I think that's decent. Oh, man. Someone just put this comment. Oh, no. This is a really funny comment. He said here, the real Bink won. Not going to lie, Rosenthal is cooking Passan this deadline. Am I the only one that was thinking that? I thought I was the only one that was thinking that earlier. I'm like, Rosenthal, he is beating Passan to the punch on a couple of them. Rosenthal, he's got the lead right now. But maybe Passan's saving his best bullets for tomorrow. Could he do the 3-1 comeback tomorrow? We'll see. But Michael Soroka going to the Cubbies. Soroka's interesting. Better metrics. I mean, the FIP is still nothing amazing, but 4.11, it is better than the 4.87. I mean, listen, he's having his best year since that 2019 year. So, and I still believe, he's a free agent after this year. I mean, he's got decent strikeout numbers. 9.63 on the strikeouts, 2.6 on the walks, 1.2 on the homers. And at Wrigley, more of a pitcher-friendly park. that could be pretty decent. I think that's decent upside there. Michael Soroka going to the Cubs. We got a super chat coming in. We had a couple of super chats coming in. Oh, we've had a few. Oh, I've missed these. Steven. Thank you, my friend. Who gets Robert? I'm going to say Mets. Mets or the Phillies. I say he goes there or he stays. That's kind of where I'm at. Thank you, Steven. Appreciate it, my friend. Jake the Snake. Is it the real Jake the Snake Roberts? Oh, man. Let me put here. Can I put a border? Because I know it's like is there a back? Can I put a background on this? There's got to be a background that can make it. Is there? I don't know if there is. Okay, I think that helps a little. There we go. That way you can see it. Maybe, let me see one more thing. Yeah. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. But Jake the Snake. What would you think of the Yankees going for Robbie Ray and Duvall from the Giants? And do you think the Giants can get a nice haul? I mean, I think with Robbie Ray, he's under contract. So, I mean, we can pull up a trade. I mean, is he underwater? I would think. I mean, yeah, he's really underwater. So I don't think you're going to be able to. The Giants would have to pay it off. You know, what's going on? What's up with the Giants as of late? What's going on here? What are the Giants doing? Yeah, they're 6 out. The heck happened to the Giants? And they were in a nice little spot not too long ago. They're going to start selling here? Goodness gracious. What are we doing here, San Fran? What are we doing? I don't know. Well, I would think. I don't know. I don't know. Probably Robbie Ray. I don't think the Yankees would want him. They already got a couple of lefties, right? You have 3 lefties there. And for the Yankees, I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering how far they're willing to go. Duvall, I mean, sure. I think Duvall could be really nice. I mean, if we were to look him up. Hey, we're getting some super chats coming in. Oh, man. Hold on one second, everybody. I'll be right there. Duvall's having a really nice year. 3.15 ERA, FIP right around the same. He's still dealing with the walks. Duvall would be, I think, a decent arm to add. He's going to have some value. He'll have something. I don't think the Yankees would have to give up a ton to get him. I think you could probably just give up kind of one of your prospects in like the 8 through 10 range, maybe a couple of those. Taking a look-see. I don't even think you wouldn't have to give up Elmer. I don't know. Could you send back like Brock Selvage? Lonnie? You know, kind of like one of those guys, like sort of like that 8 through 12 range, 8 through 15, 8 through 20. Maybe like 1 or 2 guys. I think that makes sense. So, Jake, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. What do we got? Nathan. What's up, Robbie? Do you think Grant Taylor gets moved with how the reliever market is? Well, let's take a look here. Let's take a look-see. I mean, that FIP is pretty good. Would the White Sox like to hang on to him, though? Free agent after 2031. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. I feel like they probably hang on to him. That's just a lot of control. I feel like you shouldn't give up guys like that. I'll say he ends up staying. I mean, he's got to have some pretty good value. Let's look him up. I would say, I mean, he's well, that's not the White Sox. I would say he's got at least around like maybe 5. Yeah, at least. I mean, he's at 14. Yeah, Grant Taylor would get a lot. I feel like the White Sox would like to hang on to him. But I could see it. You know, I could see it because if they get blown away, well then yeah, why not? I don't know. I think he'll end up staying. That's my guess. That's a guy that you can have in the fold for a long time. Nathan, thank you, my friend. Um, what do we got here? I got to change this background again. It's not working out. I don't know why that is not working. All right, that's fine. What do we do? Oh, let me change the. Don't know how to do this. I'm not sure. Let's see. That's not working. That's not working. Nope. That's the best we're gonna do. I'll put it on the black background. Do you see the Royals having a chance at anybody this deadline? I think they're gonna stand pat. I mean, you just re-signed Seth Lugo. I could see them making some kind of like a soft buy. Signing Seth Lugo, that signals they want to stay in contention for next year. I don't think they're going to sell. I think if they do, it's going to bring someone back. Like, remember there was a rumor not too long ago that Brian Reynolds was a guy they were looking at. Now, I don't know what happens with. I mean, honestly, at this point, do the Pirates end up moving him? They move Ke'Bryan Hayes. Well, that's different. Ke'Bryan Hayes has struggled with the bat. Brian Reynolds has a good track record with the bat in Pittsburgh. But I wonder, could you revisit that? Possibly. The Royals really need something for the outfield. You got Jack Caglione, right? He's going to be a monster moving forward. But if the Royals were to do anything, I think an outfielder with a decent bat. We'll see. I think they would probably get creative in some kind of a deal. Like I could see them moving, Carter Jansen or Blake Mitchell. I think that could make sense. So, because you have a bit of a surplus there. So, I think they're going to soft buy. I think they could end up making like some kind of a move that could fly under the radar. So, I don't think it's going to be any sort of a splash. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Blissed Fiend. If Bader gets moved, and if he does, where to? Funny, because we're talking about right-handed bats. Could the Phillies maybe make a play? Could they bring him back to the Mets? You know what I mean? I wonder if the Phillies could be an option. That sounds like something. If we were to take a look at the rankings when it comes to center field. And Bader is having a pretty decent year. He's got a 116 WRC plus. Let me take a look at the splits. Funny enough, he's actually doing better against righties. So, but that's a guy that, 437 on the slugging. He's having a decent year going under the radar. Now, if you were to look. Oh, he's actually been playing mostly. Yeah, he has been playing mostly left field, but he can play some center. But if we were to take a look at just center field rankings. I don't know. Probably not the Tigers because you already got a couple of guys that can do it there. Again, I'm looking at the Phillies. I'm looking at that where that could be pretty decent. You can pair him up with Kepler, Brandon Marsh. I think the Phillies make sense. Maybe the Padres. If they're unable to land Duran or Kwan, that could be a fallback. I could see the Padres. Maybe the Rangers. Possibly. I could see that. I'll say those three. I'll say the Phillies, Padres, and the Rangers. That sounds about right. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Thank you for that. What else we got? We got a few here coming in. I appreciate you all, everyone. I really do appreciate this. Chris, sorry if you already spoke on it, but do you think the Cardinals did really well considering Helsley is a rental? How do you rate that trade both ways? I think it's great for the Cardinals. They got a power upside bat. I love that. I think that is very solid. Now taking a look here. Have they already updated the rankings here? Usually pretty quick. Jesus Baez. A guy that's got a 60 power tool from the right side. He's a little undersized at 5'10", but the guy's just really explosive. He's got a big arm as well. And taking a look at his numbers, Still some work to do. He's only got a 390 on the slugging, but he's getting on base pretty well. I mean, we saw that 447 slugging last year. I mean, last year he's got 11 homers. This year he's down to 10. Or sorry, yes, he's at 10 here. So looking like he's going to finish around the same. That's a decent bat to get. There's upside there. I think for the Cardinals, that's very good. I mean, why not? Shoot for upside here. You got a new front office coming into the fold. I mean, you need to be looking towards... I still think the Cardinals, they could still go out there and they can compete. But you need to be keeping an eye on the future here. Chaim Bloom's taking over the front office. I think it makes sense. I liked it a lot. And they got a pitching prospect in there too. And for the Mets, I mean, you're solidifying that bullpen. You are built to win a World Series if you're the Mets. This is a good go-for-it move. Baez, they probably looked at the numbers this year and they're like, we're not seeing that power coming through yet. I think we're good. Cardinals, here you go. You can have them. So, I think it's a good trade. I think it was a good trade for both sides. I think both, they got a good amount out of it. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that, my friend. My iPad is starting to die. It's already 10 o'clock. Holy cow. Still got 900 people in here. Thank you, everyone. What do we got? Boom to your doom. What a name. I understand the Brewers don't really make these type of moves, but Suarez makes too much sense. I agree. Plenty of starting pitchers to give up. Chad Patrick, Tobias Myers, Logan Henderson. I think if they were to splurge, I think this is the moment. You've had so many years here. So many years of just, you've made decent moves, right? Like last year, you bring in Frankie Montas, for example. Like, that's decent. Ended up pitching all right for you down the stretch. They added another bat. Who was the other bat they added last year? Oh, who was the bat the Brewers added last year? I can't remember. I'm going blank. I can't remember. That's going to bug me. But, again, they've made okay moves. This is the time. I think you should do it. Like, if I'm a Brewers fan, I'm so tired of looking like a really good team going into the postseason, and then you just fall flat. Go get Suarez. I would love that for them. Blissed Fiend. What about Willie Castro? That's a name that I think is going to be a little hot tomorrow. I could also see Willie Castro for the Brewers. Could also see that. Oh, yeah, Colton. They added Kana a couple of years ago, right? Like that mid-tier kind of a bat, right? 21, Eugenio Suarez. I think you meant Eugenio Suarez. But Willie Castro, that's a name to pay attention to as well. I wonder if that could be a guy maybe the Mets could go for. I think he would fit the Brewers really well, has that versatility. So, Josh, Leo DeVries, C. Suarez for Jaron Duran. Ooh. I mean, honestly, let's kind of actually, because of Suarez, he's got the contract. So, how much of that is going to be negative? I mean, that would be a really nice arm to add there. I wonder, that would actually pull it pretty close to even. Oh no, Suarez is positive. He is positive now. Again, it's going to come down to, does Preller want to do it? That's going to be the big thing. Taking a look. Let's put Duran there. Let me know in the chat, everybody. Do you think Duran is going to get moved? I feel like he's not. I don't know. With Preller, you never know. Leo DeVries, Dylan Cease. I mean, it's not very far off when you look at the total value, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Preller does this. I mean, I don't think Preller does this. I'd be shocked if he did something like that, you know? Shocked. I don't even know if the Red Sox, I think they, if you're the Red Sox, do you accept this? That's really hard to turn down. If the Red Sox think that Dylan Cease and Suarez can make up for Jarren Duran on the Major League roster this year, but then again, Duran, he's red hot. He's looking like he's primed for a good couple of months here down the stretch. I actually wonder if the Red Sox would maybe say no to this. You know? Value-wise, I could definitely see them really thinking about it. But I think it comes down to, yes, they would, obviously Leo DeVries, that's a really good prospect to get back. But do they feel like Cease and Suarez, what they would bring to the table in August and September and potentially October, is that going to be enough to offset the loss of Duran? Would that bring you back to even for this season while also getting one of the top prospects in the game? For example, like if Duran, I mean, what is his F-WAR at right now? I mean, he's really raised it over the last week or so. He's at a 2.5. So he's not going to finish with what he did last year. But if he ended up finishing at like a 3, let's say he finished at a 4. Let's say Duran gets another win and a half above replacement. Could Cease give you that over 10 starts with Suarez? If Cease could give you 1 win above replacement, Suarez could give you half. And then, I don't know. If the Red Sox feel like they could get that out of those guys for this year while getting the top prospect in the game, I wonder if they do it. I do think there is a chance Duran, a good chance he's probably going to get moved in the offseason. I do think that. If not him, Willie or Abreu. I think one of those guys is going to get moved in the offseason. I don't know. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, you would be getting your number 2. You would be getting an arm for the bullpen that they could use. You'd still have all your outfielders. You know, after Duran, you'd have Roman, Seti, Willier. You're not having to play Seti at second. I will say this. I'll say this. If the Red Sox do this, and they also go out there and get, say, Yandy Diaz, I wonder if that could be something. Maybe. And if they could get one more bat in another deal while doing this, I wonder if that could be something. So we'll see. Everybody, I do think I'm going to wrap it up right there. This is our annual trade deadline eve stream. I think we have, there I am. I clicked the wrong button. This is our annual trade deadline eve stream. We do this every single year, but we got a long day tomorrow. I want to make sure I go rest up. We got a lot to talk about here tomorrow. I'm going to be in this seat for probably going to feel like 24 hours tomorrow. We're going to be here all day tomorrow. So wake up in the morning, have your cereal ready, have your coffee ready, have your waffles, whatever the heck you're eating tomorrow, pancakes, omelets. Get ready because we're going to be here in the morning. We're going to be here early. We're going to be here all day. And I'm excited for it. We did this last year. I sat here literally for 8 hours last year. And we had a great time. So we'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Go get rested up. Keep your eyes on the phone. Keep your eyes out for Passim Rosenthal. Maybe something else happens. You know what's going to happen is we're going to end this stream. And in 5 minutes, something is going to happen. So you might want to get your phone ready because it happens all the time. So what did Bob Nightingale say? What a Bob Nightingale. Do we got what do we got? Mr. Bobby, what are you telling me? The Chicago Cubs take a flyer. Soroka, they had been engaged for Shane Bieber. Interesting. Shane Bieber. I wonder if he ends up getting moved. Everybody, we'll be back here tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.